Let's take a closer look at the Canon EOS 7D Mark II and the Canon Rebel T7, also known as the 2000D. In this review, you'll discover the strengths of these cameras as well as their weaknesses. To start off with, what lenses can you actually use with these two cameras? The 7D Mark II and the T7 are both compatible with Canon EF and EFS lenses, including the Canon EF 50mm f1.8 and the Canon EFS 18-55mm kit lens. You also have the option to choose from a variety of third-party lenses available on the market. If you are interested, you can find reviews of both mentioned lenses and many more on my channel. Simply check the links below or click the card located in the top right corner. Does either of these cameras have a dual SD card slot? The T7 does not, but the 7D Mark II kinda does. It has one slot for an SD card and one for a CF card. This feature is typically found on high-end cameras and allows for real-time backups of your photos by saving each photo on both cards simultaneously. With a dual SD card slot, you can still retrieve everything from the second card even if one SD card fails. This is particularly useful for professional gigs. Failures of SD cards are rare, especially if you interchange multiple SD cards gradually. However, such issues are possible. Moreover, you can disregard the backup function and utilize both cards independently. This way you can increase your storage capacity to twice its original size. What about connectivity? The T7 offers both Wi-Fi and NFC connectivity, but the 7D Mark II does not. You have to buy extra accessories for the 7D Mark II in order to get that. Okay, so what about portability? The 7D Mark II measures 148.6 by 112.4 by 78.2mm, or 5.85 by 4.43 by 3.08 inches, and weighs approximately 820 grams or 28.92 ounces. The T7, on the other hand, measures 129 by 101.3 by 77.6mm, or 5.08 by 3.99 by 3.06 inches, and weighs in at approximately 475 grams or 16.76 ounces. Both cameras have similar physical sizes, both of them being rather portable. Keep in mind that this may change depending on the lenses you choose to use with them. So there you know, I've reviewed quite a few cameras on my channel. You can find links down below or click the card in the top right corner. Regarding the build, while the T7 is constructed from polycarbonate resin with glass and special conductive fiber, the 7D Mark II is crafted from magnesium alloy and boasts a superior build quality. Right, what about their displays? The cameras come with rear screens of decent quality that can be used to navigate through menus and view pictures. Apart from this, the T7 Mark II has a top LCD that provides a quick and easy way to check settings. This screen not only looks pleasing to the eye, but is also practical in its use. Although some may not appreciate the appearance of this LCD, personally I really like it. These two cameras offer great versatility, but you might be wondering about their battery life when taking photos while out and about. How long will they last? Well, with the 7D Mark II, you have an LPE6N battery that can provide around 650 shots, whereas the T7 has an LPE10 battery that will give you approximately 500 photos. However, battery life can depend on various factors like screen usage, the age of the batteries, and even the air temperature. You should consider carrying extra batteries when you are taking photos, particularly if there are other people involved in the process. Just a quick reminder, if this video has been useful to you so far, feel free to show your appreciation by leaving a like. Plus, if you're interested in buying any of the products discussed in this review, I've included some handy affiliate links below for your convenience. How well do these cameras perform in terms of taking photos? The quality of the photos you capture will heavily depend on the lens you choose to use. However, since I don't know what you'll use, let's focus solely on what the cameras can do. Firstly, let's discuss the sensors. The APS-C sensors of the 7D Mark II and T7 vary slightly. The 7D Mark II features a 20.2 megapixel 22.4 by 15mm APS-C sensor, whereas the T7 boasts a 24.1 megapixel 22.3 by 14.9mm sensor of the same type. Next up, the processors. You'll find that the 7D Mark II features the Digic 6, whereas the T7 has the Digic 4 Plus. Now let's take a look at the enhancements that Canon cameras have seen with the introduction of Digic 6 and 4+. In terms of the 6th generation Digic processors, you can look forward to better performance in low light situations, reduced lag time compared to earlier models, and the ability to shoot 1080p at 60 fps, among other things. As for the 4th generation, faster image processing and better noise reduction in high ISO images were introduced, in addition to H.264 1080p video recording. When it comes to ISO, the maximum range for the 7D Mark II is 100 to 16,000, which can be extended up to 51,200. Conversely, the T7 has a maximum range of 100 to 6400, which can be extended to 12,800. Keeping the ISO on the lower side is always preferred, since pushing it too high will lead to undesirable noise in your pictures. In terms of autofocus, the 7D Mark II is equipped with around 65 AF points, whereas the T7 provides only 9 autofocus points. Now, do they have dual pixel AF? The 7D Mark II possesses it, but the T7 does not. Dual pixel AF enhances the camera's autofocus abilities, making it a very useful feature. The presence of dual pixel AF and higher AF point numbers usually results in better autofocusing. Okay, what if you want to capture fast movement? Well, the 7D Mark II has a maximum shutter speed of 1/8000th of a second, whereas the T7 can only manage 1/4000th. You need continuous shooting mode if you want to capture multiple frames quickly to get cool photos of fast-moving subjects such as in sports or wildlife photography. The 7D Mark II has the ability to take 10 photos per second in this mode, while the T7 can only do 3. To clarify, the 7D Mark II snaps 10 shots in 1 second, while the T7 only takes 3. Utilizing this feature is particularly beneficial when trying to capture rapid movement, as the more frames taken per second, the greater the possibility of obtaining your desired shot. Right, what about video? The 7D Mark II is capable of recording 1080p at 60 fps, while the T7 can do 1080p at 30 fps and 720p at 60 fps. However, neither of them provides Canon log, which is available in higher-end cameras and helps you achieve a greater dynamic range. Do these cameras feature optical image stabilization? No, they don't have IBIS, and although most cameras offer digital stabilization, it's generally advised to steer clear of it. If you want to experiment with it, you can, but generally the in-body digital IS is not very effective. Moreover, it becomes a part of the video, so a copy of the footage without it is not saved. As a result, it's not particularly advantageous to use it. The best approach is to film the footage without stabilization, and later stabilize it in Premiere or any other software you use, particularly since the stabilization technology is constantly improving. If you prefer optical stabilization, you can opt for a lens like the Canon EFS 18-55mm kit lens, provided it has IS in the name. With this lens you can benefit from in-lens stabilization, which is definitely superior to the digital kind. Would either of these cameras work for vlogging? While almost any camera can be used for vlogging nowadays, certain factors must be considered. For example, it is preferable for a camera to have a flip screen so that you can see what's happening when the camera is facing you. However, both of these cameras lack flip screens, which could make vlogging more difficult. Additionally, when selecting a camera, it is important to consider the type of sensor you have. Compared to full-frame sensors, the cameras in question have APS-C sensors that magnify the image produced by a factor of ×1.6. To avoid getting footage which is too zoomed in, it is recommended to use lenses with shorter focal lengths. For handheld vlogging, you can make use of the 18-55mm kit lens mentioned earlier. You can zoom it all the way out, and this way you'll be able to get more in the frame. If you buy the version of the lens with IS, it'll create smoother videos, which is what you usually want. Another lens option you have is the Canon 24mm pancake lens. It's also wide enough for the purpose, but there's no IS available for this lens. As a result, your footage will be shakier. If you're looking to make content with a tripod, it's important to note that the lens recommendations will differ from other types of content creation. Instead of opting for the 18-55mm or 24mm lenses, it will be best to turn your attention to the Canon EF 50mm f1.4 or f1.8. These lenses have the ability to let in a lot more light, because they can open up much wider. They also produce beautiful bokeh, which is a lovely blurry background that is highly sought after. While these lenses are great for tripod filming, they might not work well for handheld vlogging, since the images produced may be too zoomed in, and they also don't have image stabilization or IS. Okay, so what is the lifespan of these cameras? It is worth mentioning that the 7D Mark II comes equipped with water and dust resistant sealing, whereas the T7 model lacks weather sealing altogether. Therefore, when handling the T7, it is important to exercise caution and refrain from exposing it to the elements excessively. Apart from weather sealing, there is a second factor you should consider. The 7D Mark II has a rating of 200,000 actuations, while the T7 has a rating of approximately 100,000. Cameras are mechanical devices, and thus have a limit to the number of pictures they can take before the shutter fails, at least theoretically. Every time you capture an image, it counts as an actuation. Doing some quick calculations, if you take an average of 10 photos per day, the 200,000 actuations of the 7D Mark II should last you approximately 54 years. On the other hand, the 100,000 actuations of T7 should last for almost 27 years based on the same average. Assuming you begin with no photos, other parts of the camera will probably stop working before the shutter fails. Remember that if you purchase a used camera, the calculations may need some adjustment. Before buying the camera, review the listing to confirm the number of photos already taken. So what can you use them for? Well, both cameras are versatile and suitable for various types of photography, including portrait, street, product, landscapes, weddings, events, and documentary work. When taking these photos, it's important to note that the lens you select plays a more significant role in achieving great results than the camera itself. When it comes to taking sports and wildlife pictures, the process gets more complicated. Of course, lens selection remains important, but there are other things that you need to take into account. If you like to take photos of sports games or wildlife, having a high frame per second rate in continuous mode and a fast shutter speed is better. As previously stated, the 7D Mark II can take 10 fps in continuous mode, whereas the T7 can take 3 fps. In addition, the 7D Mark II's maximum shutter speed is 1/8000th of a second, while the T7's is only 1/4000th. I hope this review has been helpful. If you're curious about the cost of these cameras in your area, there are affiliate links down below for your convenience. If you'd like to check out more reviews, you can either look down below for the relevant links or click the card in the top right corner. Do you have any questions? Feel free to comment down below and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe and hit that bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.